Welcome to the Kathleen Project, capturing Manchester's industrial past. The voices you will hear in this series will tell you of their experience working in Manchester's 20th century garment industry. In this episode, Lynne will tell of her time completing piecework and outdoor work through the 1960s and 70s. She was 15 when she started.
Well, I left school in 1961. I started work just after Christmas, and I worked at a place called Swin's, Walter Swin and Son it was, in Charles Street, just off Oxford Road in Manchester. A massive big factory building, 3 floors. It was 3 brothers that owned it, and they all had a floor each doing different garments and that. The room I worked in, we used to do trousers, mostly it's all ladies' stuff, trousers, skirts, basically, and maternity wear. The lady that was just below the floor lady, she showed me how to thread the machine up. You had to do all that. Then sew straight lines, and then you progress to putting zips in and doing all these fancy pockets and everything that was on things. Step by step, and that's how I learned. You thought you were good enough, you got a pack of work. Then once you got used to that, that was it. You're on your own time then your piecework. And obviously, like in the summertime, you did the winter stuff. And in winter, you made the summer stuff up, sort of thing, you know.
What were the working conditions like? Say in summertime, was it quite hot? Did you feel
Yeah, because we were on the 3rd floor, we were on the top floor. So it was quite warm. But it was a massive place, so it wasn't roasting or anything like that, because the air was that big. And all the machines were on one great big long conveyor belt. They had their own individual buttons to turn off and on, but the main one, the forelady used to have a main switch, and she set everything, all the power went through, and then we just put our individual machines on. But it was huge. I mean, everything was done. The cutting was down in the middle floor, the way they cut all the material. Then we had the presses and everything, and what they call the finishers and the passers that passed everything that was all right. We did everything then on our floor.
And so what was your job specifically then?
Well, just a plain flat sewer, but well, can you do such and so? I've never used that machine. Well, we'll show you what to do. So I worked on a button machine, tacking machine, and then for the maternity wear, I mean, they don't do them now. They used to have like a slide put on the waistband, and on the front bit where the flap was, where they bring it up and let it out being pregnant, it was like a slide. You slide it along as you got more pregnant. You used to work on the slide machine, and they used to call me the queen of the slide machine, because it was good. It was really good. I mean, I was fast on it, obviously. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I mean, I like doing all the sewing anyway, and it was fine. I loved it, every bit of it. I loved going to work there. It was really nice. That was my first job. Then I left there because they were moving then from Charles Street to Bellevue in Hyde. The factory was moving, and I thought, well, that means 2 buses to work. I'm not doing that. So I got a job in Sale. Now the factory I worked there was just above a garage on the corner of Dane Road and Flushway Road.
The main one.
Yeah, just before School Road. Yeah, it was the corner before that. And that was just a very tiny little place above a garage, but it was smashing though. It was really okay. Yeah, that was called Selba Textiles.
And how long were you there for?
Might have been 18 months or something. And they were moving factories. They moved to one they built one on an industrial estate up Dane Road. Before you get to the bridge on Dane Road, there was a little cut-off, and it was built on the edge, around the side of the canal, that one. They made it, but a building, and made it into a proper modern factory, if you like. Mm-hmm. And there again, the same thing we made there, but it was mostly kilts and things. That company made kilts for Marks and Spencer's there. You used to get a pack of material, say like that. You used to have to put a white label on with your name on or initials on. Then they go out to the pleaters. Then when they come back, it was sewn from the waist down so many inches. And then you put the waistband on and the buckles and everything, and all the fringing that was on the side of them. That was, you got paid extra for that. You used to take that home. You had to pull some of the threads out to make all the fringing. If you did it in work, that was taking your time making the garment up. So everybody took the fringing home to do. And that was another thing, when the waistbands on the kilts, people call it buckram, some call it petersham, the stiffening. To join the elastic to that, it had to be a square inch. It had to be sewn exactly a square round an inch. And if it wasn't, you got your work back. I mean, I don't know how true it is, but our forelady there in Sale, she said when they go from here, some of them get sent to the flagship at Marble Arch. So she used to love saying Marble Arch. And they'd x-ray them, and if they weren't sewn a half an inch, an inch round, say in a square, they got sent back and you had to sit and unpick all your work and you didn't get paid for it.
And so how long were you there?
Well, roughly maybe around 2 years again there. And then I went back because they'd moved to Bellevue, the first company, Swins. So Vina said, well, why don't you come back to Swins? We've got to work together anyways. We were doing on the same estate and everything. So I went back there and I stayed there then till I got married then in 1968. Come to live in Prestwich. I had my children, I had 2 boys. When the kids were little, before I started going back to work, I used to do outdoor work at home for a local company. They've been gone years though. They used to just bring me work round for me, or they'd come and collect it when I'd done it. They had what they called split knee jeans, like all these rip things now. We were making them in the 70s, but they were a design make. Trouser, the bottom part from the ankle to the knee was on like a V, and the top bit was just slitted into that. And then when my boys, they went to school, I worked at a factory called Selba Quilts, it was called. But we did all sorts. They didn't do many quilts when I went there, but we made sleeping bags, gagoules, waterproof clothing, and then, like we call them puffer jackets now, they were called skiing jackets at the time when they first come out. We used to make skiing jackets and everything. So I've done a bit of all them. And even on the quilting I did a bit of that, but it was too little to do that because it was a great big table, it was huge. And above it was the pattern machine that had the patterns to put on, but I couldn't do. I was too small to do it, so I had to help somebody else do it. So that wasn't really my job. That was if we didn't have much work on, they'd ask you to go obviously and go and do something else, kind of thing. And I did another machine that put all the air tags underneath the arms, like the Claire vent things you get, little studs and that. I put all them on them kind of coats.
And so how long were you at Selba?
Probably all the 70s, roughly anyway. Because we did part-time, because on the sleeping bags there was the lady at the back of me, she used to fill them with feathers, duck down. Oh, that was the expensive ones. The cheaper ones was called what they call curl feather. She used to have a big machine that put all the feather in these sleeping bags. Then they'd come to me, I'd finish off with the zips and the joining all the lines up together and everything. Then from me they'd go to another lady who rolled them up into the bags. Just the 3 of us worked in the cellar. And then in the holidays, the lady that did the filling of the sleeping bags, she'd go in the morning, I'd meet her, I'd take her girls home to my house for the morning. Then at lunchtime I'd go back to work with her girls, and then she'd take my boys to her house while I sewn the bags that she'd filled in the morning, ready for the other lady to roll them up.
So very much work and home life
of course,
together.
Yeah, job sharing if you like, really, which worked well for us.
And can you remember how much you were paid?
Next to nothing. I think it was about, if you made a coat fully up the ski jackets, I think it was about 7 and 6 in all money. And then they'd sold for X amount of pounds, but that's all we got. But that was make through as well, yeah.
And how many were you expected to get through in a day?
I can't remember. As many as you could really to make your wages. Because again, it's piecework. Right. So if you only made 1 coat a week, that's what you were paid. Right. I mean, you wouldn't make 1 coat a week, obviously, but whatever you made, that is what the wages you got.
So a kind of pressure then? A bit of pressure?
Oh, piecework is. Terribly pressurised. You've got to be a quick machinist. The quicker you are, the better wages you got.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Kathleen Project. The project is brought to you by Stitched Up and supported by Historic England. For more information, please contact Stitched Up at hello@stitchedup.coop or on Instagram or Facebook @StitchedUpCoop.